The whole process roughly takes 3 to 4 weeks.
Currently, I actually live in Sharjah. I've noticed the traffic's got a lot more busy.
The bank will be checking his eligibility and giving him the maximum pre-approval letter.
So people are not only moving to just Dubai.
Casino
yeah.
in Ras Al Khaimah.
Yeah.
So
So you've got kind of three different categories.
hi, my name is Bhagya and I'm from Lending Tree Company. I'm a mortgage consultant and today I'm here with James Tyler from Living Expert Real Estates. Today we're gonna discuss how we can close one more deal by taking a mortgage. Hi James, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you, Bhagya. How are you?
I'm good, thanks for asking. And tell me, James, about your journey in UAE, how you get into the real estate market, and what exactly the market trends are currently going on.
So I came from a stock background in the UK. So I've been doing the stocks for just over 6 years now. I moved to Dubai about a year and a half ago, and I was just mainly doing the stocks. So I currently trade in the US futures markets. So I mainly deal in the evening time because obviously it's slightly different time zones, so which benefits me. I can work in the evenings, and then I thought, what could I do with my time during the daytime?
So you must be doing on a no, you're doing two shifts, like on trading as
Yeah.
well and then into real estate market. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And what you think, what exactly in 2025, how the Dubai real estate market gonna work?
So I think it's going to keep thriving because obviously His Highness has set plans with the infrastructure, with basically everything, all the resources and money that's going into Dubai right now currently. In 2030, around that's the D33 agenda. So obviously that's going to have a high impact as well. And then by 2040, they want the best economical way of living possible. So he's meeting that goal currently, and he'll continue to do so.
Okay, and as being a real estate agent, as per you, what are the top three communities in UAE where a client can invest and take the property for good ROI returns?
So it depends on the location, really. So, for example, it depends on the budget as well. So if you're looking at mid-range budget, you're looking at Dubai Hills. So it's a very good community, still establishing itself. It's in between downtown and Marina itself. So you've got two aspects it's kind of in the center of the thriving economy.
Okay.
So you got that one. And then you've got more luxurious. So you've got Jumeirah Golf Estates. That's another very good one. That's more on the higher end type of investment. It depends on the budget.
As per the rental incomes must be also good over there.
Yeah, so it's good. It's good ROI at the moment. So I'd say third in Dubai Land.
Dubai Land, you
Yeah,
say?
currently, yeah.
Okay. Can you explain the previous experience where close a deal and how you can use that client in terms of purchasing other properties in other area? As of course it was a mortgage client.
Okay. So yeah, I can give you an example. So if, for example, an investor would like to purchase a property, say full cash, then they can obviously do the equity loan release as well, and then they can also leverage their property.
Putting as a collateral as a property.
Yeah. And then they can do that several times. So, for example, if they buy already properties, let's just say they can have a 2 million equity loan, then they'll buy another property, and then they can, if it's a ready property, then they can also use another equity loan on that property as well, and then they can have like a chain reaction.
Yeah.
They do that quite frequently. That's a good strategy that they use in the US markets, in the US real estate
It may
market.
help to contain more properties in UAE and they will be owning more properties.
Correct,
by
yeah.
using this chain.
So they can just leverage their potential gains, essentially. And then obviously if they can cover the mortgage amount, then obviously they're going to benefit from capital appreciation, their return on investment, etc., etc.
Okay, and what do you think, how the mortgage market is impacting the Dubai expats in UAE in terms of real estate markets?
So currently it's mostly cash that's come into the country because obviously there's the war and stuff like that going on. So everyone's putting their money where it's safe. But now that they've put the money where it's safe, we can educate them on how they can benefit from leveraging that safe money to
Yes.
then basically increase their gains through a mortgage.
Yeah, of course, because moreover, it's for only the expats who are taking mortgage. Do you really think that for international clients who are not residents in the UAE and still they are looking to purchase property on mortgage, will it be beneficial for them as well?
Yeah, of course. They can get up to 60% because we've had discussions before about that.
Yes, of course.
So yeah, definitely. Like even 60% of the property value that they've got ready, if they've got a big ticket, then obviously they're going to get a good chunk.
That's amazing, yeah. And moreover, in upcoming period of time, do you still that the areas like still under development, like if you consider the areas like maybe Warsan or maybe not specifically to the Dubai markets only. What about the Abu Dhabi Emirates and the Sharjah and Ajman Emirates? They are still under development.
Yeah.
Do you really think that in upcoming period of time there can be a huge rush in such Emirates?
Yeah. So currently I actually live in Sharjah, so I've noticed the traffic's got a lot more busy. So obviously there's a lot higher demand in Sharjah currently as well.
Mm-hmm.
So people are not only moving to just Dubai, they're also moving to the other Emirates as well.
Okay.
So you've got Abu Dhabi, which is kind of in between Dubai and Sharjah with price comparisons. So you've got kind of three different categories. So
Yeah.
you've got Dubai at the top, and then you've got Abu Dhabi, and then you've got Sharjah for affordability in terms.
And in terms of you can consider the Ajman and Russell Khema as well, because
Yeah.
we have heard that they are making a casino
yeah.
in Russell Khema.
Yeah.
So will it be beneficial for the investors of the international as well as the expats?
Yeah, of course. They're going to make it huge. It's a huge project that's ongoing at the moment, and it's the first ever
Yeah, first
casino.
ever project, yes, of
Yeah,
course.
it's the first ever casino that's been allowed in the Middle East. So obviously that's going to attract a lot of attention, investors.
Mm.
If you look at, let's just say, Las Vegas, for example, they're doing extremely well. They have over 10 million visitors yearly to there. So obviously if Dubai is going to have the same impact, then obviously Ras Al Khaimah will be following suit
Yes.
along with those numbers.
Of course.
And then that will be a great potential for investors for short-term rentals and even like monthly rentals as well in Ras Al Khaimah, for example.
Yeah, and do you really think that now people are majorly moving towards mortgage in terms of purchasing a property and using that property later on by putting as a collateral? So will it be beneficial for each and every clients?
So I'm a guy of numbers, and I've been looking at the statistics through the DLD website, and 70% up until like last month or so was cash
Cash buyer.
buyers.
Okay.
And then the rest was between gifts and mortgage. So mortgage was second. However, in the last month, I've noticed that a lot more people are pushing towards the mortgage because obviously they're going to use they're only starting to realize about the benefits of a mortgage and
Yes.
being able to borrow and leverage their money.
Yeah, of course, because in terms of if any clients is willing to take a mortgage, if we guide them properly, and they can take a mortgage from the bank, and the remaining cash flow which they are having in their pocket or in their bank accounts, they can use their property like that cash to purchase another property as a down payment, and the remaining they can use as a mortgage as well.
Yeah, correct. And it's not only you're going to get capital appreciation and a steady return on investment, so someone else is going to be paying for that mortgage, you're also going to get the equity that people don't really think about as well. So
Yes.
you've got the principal and then you've got the equity, haven't you? So
Of course.
they're going to gain that equity as well as the capital appreciation.
As per you, James, what do you think off-plan property is a better option or ready-to-move-in property?
So it depends on the risk portfolio and the strategy with the investor themselves. If they want to diversify their risk, then I would recommend both as an option. If they're an end user, then obviously the ready properties would be best. If they're looking for a mixture between capital appreciation, return on investment, and then like to leverage their money, then ready properties are definitely more productive. If they're looking for good payment plans, and they're looking for potential capital appreciation mainly and only, and they don't mind waiting on their investment, then I would suggest off-plan properties.
Because at the time of handover, the property price may go up and they can get a good return of investment.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So that's mainly what they strive to do with off-plan properties, is hope that the market appreciates enough to give them that return on investment.
Okay.
But now you've got different developers that offer a guaranteed ROI. So then obviously you can have a mixture between capital appreciation and return on investment with those types of developers, because they've got a different strategy, because they're more premium pricing in compared to the actual market value currently.
Okay. All right.
So Bhagya, I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind, about mortgages.
Of course, sure.
So what are the current mortgage trends currently?
Particularly, if I talk about the mortgage trends, every couple of months back, the Central Bank of UAE changed their policy. So every bank changed their rate of interest. And then it also depends on the EBOR, which is currently known as Emirates Interbanking Offer Rate. We see the last trends of that EBOR on that basis. To keep inflation in mind, the banks keep changing their rates. So earlier it was on a bit higher side, but now currently the rates are pretty much on a very lower side, you can say, where every client can have a mortgage and minimum amount of installment they can pay as a monthly. So if I talk about the trends, and like every monthly or 3 months, 6 months, the banks keeps changing their policy. So we need to be also keep an update on each and every bank. So which bank is best for which client. So these are the current trends which is currently going on for the mortgages. And majorly, if I talk about the historical data, the mortgage buyers have increased from last 2020 year. So in this year, it went up to 40% buyers was on a mortgage side. So this is the trend, and in upcoming period of time, I can see a huge potential where due to the awareness of mortgage in UAE markets, the clients are really moving towards mortgage and they are not using their cash flow to purchase the properties.
Perfect. And with the mortgage rates, how do they determine it? Do they determine it based on the US economy, or?
So yeah, it also depends on the US economy, and at the moment, the over here in UAE, banks have such kind of criteria where they give you a fixed rate of interest for some particular period of time, where a client can choose either they wants to get a fixed rate of interest for 3 years or 5 years. So once the fixed rate of interest period is over, the rates will be considered as a variable rate of interest, whereas whatever the bank margin is there and the 3 months EBOR they will consider. So we will be combining that, and that will be a variable rate of interest. So at per current today's date, the EBOR is somewhere around 4.40. Earlier, and like if you consider like before past 6 months, it was like on the highest 5.50. When after the US elections and all that happens, the EBOR is now falling down slowly and gradually. So it may can go down by 3% or 4% also. So it depends on the inflation and the bank policies as well.
And so what's the current mortgage rates at the moment for a non-resident and a resident?
For non-residents, I will say it will be 5.49, the starting from 5.49 for non-residents, and for the residents, it's starting from 3.95. This is the current rate of interest which are currently going on in the banks, major banks. You can consider it.
Perfect. And could you tell me more about the how someone would get pre-approval, for example, for a mortgage, and how long does the process roughly take?
So the whole process roughly takes 3 to 4 weeks. And in the mortgage process, first there are total 4 steps you can consider. First will be the pre-approval stage, where the bank will be checking his eligibility and giving him the maximum pre-approval letter. Then second stage will be the bank evaluation. Well, the bank guy will go to the premises and they will do the evaluation of a property. Then third one will be the final offer letter, where the banks will prepare the checks against the seller's name. And the fourth last step will be the transfer at the trustee office. So this is the four steps the mortgage is divided, and you can consider now uh, how exactly this whole process can be done even in 2 weeks or 3 weeks as well if the client is really proactive and doing each and every steps.
Perfect. And what's the difference between a fixed rate and a variable rate, and how do the buyers know how to differentiate the two?
So at the initial stage of fixed 3 years of periods, no, the interest rate will be fixed, it won't change, but always it will be on a reducing basis. Once the fixed period is over, no, at the time of final offer letter, when they are signing the final offer letter, in the letter, the banker will also explain them what exactly this will be your fixed rate of interest for 3 years. Once the 3 years period is over, the fixed period, from the fourth year onwards, your installment will be increased by 1,000 dirham or 1,500 dirham, whatever the mortgage amount is there. And as I mentioned earlier, also bank have their own margin plus the 3 months IBOR they will consider it. So suppose the bank margin is 1% and the 3 months IBOR is 3%. So after 3 years, the rate of interest, the variable will be 4%.
So they're basically, so a fixed rate would be you're kind of grandfathered into that rate, and then with a variable, it's kind of like depends on the EBOR.
Yes, it depends on the IBOR. If the bank's margin also change, then the IBOR will be remain the same because IBOR change on a daily basis from every month from first. Let's suppose this is the November or December month. So from December today's date, the IBOR will be different. Tomorrow again it will be a different. So they will
Okay.
consider that.
Perfect. And what kind of like typical fees would you get for a mortgage, like as if you were getting a mortgage out?
Um, for example, there will be such fees. First will be the bank evaluation fees, bank processing fees. You can consider it. Moreover, at the time of trustee office, at the time of transfer, the clients needs to pay the 4% DLD, 2% broker fees, then the trustee fees, the government admin fees, mortgage registration fees. So these are the fees which the clients needs to bear from their end and in the mortgage itself. Once this it's done, the title will be on their name as well, including the mention that this is the mortgage property.
And what's the typical percentage that meets the criteria?
For if I consider for UAE residents, expats, they can get 80% as a finance on a property value. For international clients, they can get 60% finance, and for self-employed is the same criteria. But for locals, I must say, for locals, it's for 85% finance on the property value. So James, as you are dealing in off plans and secondary market both. So if I talk about the secondary market only, if you get any buyer, who is willing to take a mortgage, do you aware what basic questions you need to ask to the customer, and then we can take it ahead from there?
So you would basically ask the general questions. So for example, you'd say like how much,
Monthly income is there?
how much is the monthly income? Do you have any outstanding liabilities like credit cards, loans, etc.?
Oh, of course. So you are aware about, but you are taking some basic questions, and as you must be dealing with many brokers in the market as well. So and as a lending tree, as a company, you must be aware that we have our own application where a real estate agent can track his life case of his client, what's exactly is going on with the clients. So moreover, what else, what feedback you can give us on a landing tree and what we can improve to serve you better in terms of your clients who wants to take a mortgage in UAE?
So that would be actually really beneficial because a lot of my clients will ask about how long the process will take and basically how their application is going forward. I know in Dubai sometimes with the banks and the loans, they have to do their due diligence because obviously they have to follow the laws and regulations. It could take a little bit longer than expected. However, it's a lot faster than most of the world in terms of that.
Okay.
But then it would be great to have like an application, for example, through the lending tree to see the actual progress, and they can have a live update on the progress. That would be really beneficial.
Okay. And what one thing we can improve in terms of as a as a broker services what we are giving to the real estate agents so far in so last 8 years 9 years, what additional good we can do for you to help your clients and to serve them better?
So, from my experience, I basically have thought about if you can be direct and honest and upfront with them, then they're going to treat you a lot better. Like,
Okay.
that's the main thing, is just basically telling them point by point what's going to happen, the procedure, the process, just so they're aware and they understand. Because, like, when I first spoke to you about mortgages, I didn't have a single clue about mortgages. So obviously I was learning the process and the procedures as I was going along to try and help my clients further as well, just to reassure them, to make sure that they're going through the process smoothly as possible. They had some doubts, so then obviously, because they weren't up to date with how it's working, because if people are unsure, then obviously they're going to come across like,
Yes, of course. They must be having
yeah,
a proper information how exactly the whole process works.
100%. Yeah.
I really appreciate your honest feedback on that. James, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your valuable time. Let's continue to work together and guide our clients to achieve their goals, dream home. We'll be in touch. In Lending Tree, impossible is not an outcome.